Hey guys, so I bumped into this lovely writer on Twitter, and it turns out he has a treasure trove of stories just waiting to be narrated. So I hope you like this introduction into his mind's eye, as I think you will see much more coming from him on this channel. Also, I hope you watched the art and story contest video. I will link it in the description box below. I hope you all submit something. I am really looking forward to it. And now, on to the video. Enjoy. Engage, they said. It'll be fine, they said. Just a routine test, they said. It was anything but. I pushed the button that turned it on. The machine. The dimension. I started the loop. Then the observation window broke. Spiderweb cracks formed along the control panels and dissected the hypoptic amplification module. Rainbow lights swirling inside the 2 hourglass eyes. Everyone screamed, myself included. But the worst was yet to come. Something started to crackle, to buzz. A radio. A radio far older than the concept of time. Of anything. Its voice came from behind the glass, echoing throughout the facility. I plugged my ears. I had to. Everything was growing more and more hazy as the scale turned black. From stable to incomprehensible. Coffee mugs and their contents floated off of the panel. Blood pooled from my nose in a floating stream of red. The radio was playing a song of little girls and mad wonderlands. A song. A signal. The static. It all faded into black, and the sound of soft flesh being ripped apart. One at a time, we walked up those winding, twisting stairs. The sound of music flowed sweetly from the top of the structure. We didn't recognize the tune. It wasn't exactly musical notes in general. Someone was humming. Light humming. A little girl. At least, that's what most of us had thought. Jeremy was the first one to go up. He was always the bravest one out of our group. But he screamed when he got to the top. He never screamed before. Never. Not at the various scary movies that his older brother had shown us every Halloween. Not at the pranks that his brother had played on him, jumping out of the curtains with a generic Jason hockey mask and a plastic chainsaw. He never screamed. His screams were loud like glass. I froze in place while the others stared up at the darkness. Tony prayed to God. Henry muttered to himself something about breaking bones. Breaking bones and shattering glass. I couldn't really make out what he was saying, though. The humming grew louder with every second. Every second spent listening to his screams and his pleading. His screams eventually melted into the humming. Then there was more humming. More humming by a little girl waiting above us on the darker floors of the abandoned lighthouse. We stood around for a couple of minutes, waiting for something to happen. For Jeremy to come running down the stairs with his pants soaked with piss and tears flowing down his cheeks. We waited until we couldn't have waited any longer. And one by one, we followed the music up those twisted, blood-stained stairs. A storm is raging outside. Thunder blasts through the air like a cannon. The light pitter-patter of rain hitting the pavement is my only salvation from falling asleep. I can't fall asleep. Not with it there. I don't know exactly what it is exactly, but I know that it isn't human, even if it looks like a naked man. A very pale, thin man. It has no eyes, just pits of darkness that stare at me unblinking. It's smiling, and I can see its teeth, thousands of needles glistening in a flash of lightning. It's waiting for me to fall asleep, waiting for me to doze off. It's been sitting on the edge of my bed for an hour, tapping my foot every once in a while with its claws, whispering to me. I can hear it. A faint whisper saying, "Shh, honey, go to sleep." Boredom. It's an interesting concept, isn't it? Pretty ironic if you ask me. It's amazing and quite unbelievable that in this day and age, when electronics and books and basic human interaction are so prevalent, we'd feel disinterested in our surroundings. There are things we could do to pass the time, and yet we still find ourselves without stimulation. I'm not here to preach about humanity, though. You probably knew all of this already. You are human after all. Rather, I'm here to introduce an idea. One that has probably escaped your attention for a long time. What if the concept of boredom is not just restricted to humanity? What if the cosmic forces, the things that swim through a black sludge infected by stars and planets and universes, suffer from boredom as well? A being so all-knowing and so all-powerful in our reality that there isn't anything it can't and hasn't done. Satisfaction begets obsession. You do something that brings you fun, and suddenly, you do said action over and over again in an attempt to replicate the emotional high. And over time, the emotional reward fades until you can't feel anything. You run and find something else. The cycle continues. Why can't an entity with an indifferent attitude towards the physical realm participate in a similar ritual? What if an entity created reality and the human race, and has lost interest in us? What if said entity has immense cosmic powers that are beyond our understanding and transcendent of mere dimensions? What if it can destroy a universe without a care? What if the destruction of a single universe isn't enough? If humans repeat an action that is entertaining, then can we stop a god from destroying our world? Boredom. It is an interesting concept, indeed.